Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Congratulations to the Little League team. They won the World Series. Brandon, I got to watch them Saturday and Sunday. And when I say this, people get mad as they want to. It's a bigger accomplishment than the Saints winning the Super Bowl and the LSU winning the national championship game. And this is why. It starts with 6,500 teams. And then everybody's got to make an all-star team. And then it's hundreds of all-star teams that dwindle down all over the world. And they pounded Hawaii, who was really good, who beat them the first time, and then they pounded the team they beat yesterday.
I was amazed,
and I'm telling you what, it's great for Louisiana.
Hey, but didn't I say the pitching? That Egan Prather kid came on and pitched a shutout yesterday against Curacao. I mean, these teams from across the world are amazing.
Oh, no, it was just phenomenal.
Man.
What those kids accomplished was phenomenal, and it's bigger than what I just told. Not money-wise, but I expect John Bel Edwards to have a picture with him on TV probably within the next week.
Yeah.
You know, and claiming it was because of him and because he was the governor and he expanded Medicaid. So he expanded Medicaid, raised $7 billion in taxes to get this to happen. I expect that to happen really soon. Like he threw passes with Drew Brees and does stuff with Coach O. You know, he's just that kind of guy, and he's killing us. But anyway, I'll get to that in a second. But congratulations, Brandon. It was fun. I think they played 6-7 games. I was able to watch 2 or 3 whole games and then bits and pieces of other ones. But it was just fun watching kids from Louisiana accomplish. And it just – so when I say bigger, when you look at it, it's a world event. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to beat Japan and all these other teams, and you get there and you beat them. And the team they lost to was Hawaii. And they did some pounding on them boys. It was 9-0. They ended up coming back and was that Virginia?
9-5.
9-5.
Yeah.
And or was that Virginia that was 9-5?
It was Hawaii.
Okay.
It was Hawaii.
Well, Hawaii was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
they pounded on Virginia too, though.
I mean,
they pounded on all those teams. That's what was amazing to me was the way that they just started beating these teams handily in the biggest games.
Well, I just kudos for Louisiana because it's a Louisiana product. But the people out of River Ridge, the coach, the players, the parents. The whole thing was, and Brandon, just typical, and this is the Louisiana culture. Who do they like to see come to the World Series? They love when LSU shows the Cajuns show up. They love when the Cajuns win. Tulane's been there. UNO's been there. They love when the Louisiana folks come. And guess what? They were kind of the darlings of the whole World Series that I watched. After they lost and started winning, they always focused on the Louisiana people and the culture and all that stuff. And I just thought it was cool, man. It was great for Louisiana.
We're just different. We're different than everybody else.
Well, we are, and we're different in a lot of good ways, and we're different in a lot of bad ways. But we're different, no doubt about it. But I'm telling you, people don't want to move out of here, but they're going to with jobs. People don't want to leave here. They love it here. They love coming here. Just got to have jobs, and we're not going to have it with this governor. Now, I said all that to get to what I really want to talk about. There are going to be some people getting mad at me, and they can get mad as they want to. And what I'm getting ready to talk about is really happening right now. We got a governor's race going on. And I've never been more disappointed in people that I like than I am today. And this has been on my mind for 3 weeks. It's been on my heart for 3 weeks. And I woke up at 1:30 this morning, Brandon. I couldn't go back to sleep. Because, man, when you talk about what I'm going to talk about, they're going to get some people mad at you. But I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to lay it out there. The congressional delegation is letting us down. Let me give you the delegate with the exception of one. Steve Scalise, Representative Steve Scalise, Representative Clay Higgins, Representative Garrett Graves, Representative Mike Johnson, and Senator Bill Cassidy. If you notice, I didn't mention Senator Kennedy because he's been involved in the governor's race as a United States Senator and when he was a state treasurer. And when you hear these congressmen not get involved in this race, it's POing me to no end. And it's time that they get involved. We got 6 weeks for the election, but really we don't, Brandon. You realize in a month we're voting early voting? The 28th of September is early voting in about, I think, what's the day today? 26, 27?
26.
Okay. So in a month, we're going to vote. And the congressmen all been home. Not one word from Steve Scalise. Not one word from Clay Higgins. Not one word from Garrett Graves, who's tied up with the Edwards administration and Bel Edwards and Edwin Edwards and Blanco's people. Mike Johnson, I just took pictures with Mike Johnson, not a word, and then Senator Bill Cassidy, not one word. And let me tell you something, a couple of things. When they tell you that they're not getting involved to the runoff, we ought to tell them, well, you know what, next year, when y'all up for a re-election, we're not going to vote in October. We're going to work for November in the presidential race. We're not going to vote. We're just going to sit back. And that's what they're doing, and I know why. And I'll get to that in a minute. So next, that we voted for all these people last year, 57, 58%. We voted for Trump the year before, and we're sitting back here, and we got a chance to get a new governor. John Hilario's gone. We got a chance to change this, and I'll be damned, excuse my French, that these people in the congressional delegation are sitting on their rear ends and not involved in the race. They're not even supporting one of the candidates or both candidates. Who cares? And they're not going after the worst governor we may have had in the dang 50 years, including Bobby Jindal. A guy destroying our economy, destroying the oil and gas industry. Clay Higgins sits in the oil and gas industry. And I think that's great. You can do commercials and look like John Wayne. And you won the election, and you won again. And we voted for you. And you say, where's Clay? Clay's been off a month. Not one comment, not one ad. He don't support anybody. He sits on his rear end, and he's going to want you to vote for him next year. How about Mike Johnson? I met Mike. I saw Mike today. There's nobody I like better than Mike Johnson. I like all these people. I'm not been on any of these people. And I'm sitting back here, Clay Higgins, Mike Johnson, y'all have obligation to tell your people you need to go out and vote. You need to be on an early voting kick, and you need to be telling them about Bel Edwards. Clay, in your case, we got a governor destroying the oil and gas industry. It's great for you to come in here and talk to me or talk to Carol and talk to people, but where are you in the governor's race? Mike Johnson's the same way. I like Mike Johnson. But Mike, where are you? What's your thoughts? Why are you not out there pumping up the votes? And let me tell you why they're not, Brandon. And I'm not finished yet. They're not because they're saying it's a runoff. What if they're wrong? What if these congressmen that don't want to get involved, that keep saying I'm dealing with national issues? No. You need the voter of the people who need you now. Y'all needed us last year. We were there for you. You need us again next year. But where's y'all for the people of Louisiana? We need jobs. Garrett Graves is loaded up with Edwin Edwards people. He has no problem with Bel Edwards being the governor. But yet, when he turns around, he's going to want all these people to vote for him. Garrett Graves has never taken a stand on one thing in his life. And where's he at on the governor's race? He's quiet, shy, nothing. He doesn't care. He's loaded up with people that vote for Bel Edwards on his staff. So you know what somebody told me this morning? Somebody told me this, Brandon, and I just was floored. He said, if I wanted to get in touch, by the way, Edwin Edwards people is what he's loaded up with. This is a guy told me this morning. He said, if I had to get in touch with Edwin Edwards and didn't know how, I would call Garrett Graves' office. Now that, my friend, is sad. And then Steve Scalise. Man, who don't like Steve Scalise? Everybody wanted him to run for governor. You know why? Because it was an easy win. We were going to support him. But he didn't run. That's fine. Steve Scalise sitting on the sideline. Steve Scalise has more influence in this state than probably the United States senators. He has more appeal than anybody. And Steve Scalise is not saying one thing. And then there's Bill Cassidy. Bill Cassidy, who's been on this program 1,000 times. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. Not a word. They're not in the campaign ad. They're not out there telling people to get rid of Edwards. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. And here's what's sad. We almost in a dang recession here with jobs and businesses. Bel Edwards has turned. We lost 1,000 jobs while everybody else has gained 20, 30, 40, and hundreds of thousands of jobs around us. And it's not going to get better, folks. This man's destroying this state. And he's sending all you moms out there, he's sending your kids somewhere else to work. But let me tell you something about those people I just named. They're good people. I like them all, and I voted for some of them. Okay? But let me tell you something. When 2009 and a recession hit and it really hurt people, the congressmen and the senators, if we got another one, they're going to have their six-figure salary. They're going to have their insurance. You're not, and I'm not. So they got an obligation. We vote for them to help us, and we need their help now to rally voters to beat a horrible liberal. I don't care how nice of a guy he comes across. He is a liberal's liberal, and yet not one finger lifted by our congressional delegation except John Kennedy. Not one. They ain't said a word. Bel Edwards is destroying the state. The numbers speak for themselves, and they have not said one word. They have not lifted a finger. Yes, I know. When I get back, I'll tell you that. Just think, folks, if you get a recession, Steve Scalise going to have his six-figure salary. Clay Higgins going to have his six-figure salary. Mike Johnson ain't going to go without insurance. You might. As the salaries decline here and the jobs decline here, they're not going to help us. And what we really need them to help is a new leadership in the state of Louisiana, and it's sitting on the dang sideline. I've had enough of them, and I'm not done yet. This ought to burn. And I'm not wrong, but if you think I'm wrong, come on, baby. We'll talk about it. Let me take a break. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. All right, folks, if you just joined us, I'm really upset with the state delegation. Do not let Garrett Graves and them get away with telling you, I got to do, they elected me to do national stuff. Why the heck was Donald Trump talking about coming down here in the governor's election? It's got national implications that you put some. Edwards is a liberal's liberal. I mean, he endorsed Hillary Clinton. He got robocalls from Barack Obama. What if y'all wrong? And then why are you going to bring Donald Trump in the second round? If there's a second round, it's not a national election. It's so hypocritical. These people come and ask for our votes next year. They asked for them last year. I'm asking them to come help us this year. Help us win this election. I'm asking them to come help us win the election. I'm coming to ask them to get their voters and get their people out to go vote. Now, I'm worried about our jobs. Y'all not worried about your jobs. You're not worried about your salaries. I'm worried about the salaries in the great state of Louisiana. And these people got to understand, what if they're wrong? So let me get this straight. Let's say the worst thing that Edwards is going to destroy us from an economic standpoint. So let's say Edwards some kind of way pulls it out. And all the congressmen are telling you, well, I don't want to get involved. Maybe we shouldn't get involved in their election next year. Maybe what we ought to do, because remember, we got Banana Republic. We're going to vote in October. The runoff will be the presidential election. So maybe in October, instead of us going out there and voting for Johnson and Graves and Scalise and Higgins and Cassidy, maybe in October, all of us stay home. And if they say, what are you doing? Say, no, we're going to do like y'all do. We'll vote for you in the runoff. We're going to help you in the runoff. But if y'all don't go vote, I might lose. Hey, that's the chance you have to take. You remember last year when we was in the governor's race and you didn't want to get involved and you guaranteed there was a runoff? And it didn't happen, and we ended up getting Bel Edwards for 4 more stinking years of no job growth, only taxes, Medicaid, and federal money. You remember that? And y'all said, we can't get involved. Oh, we got a runoff. And it wasn't a runoff. So we'll just, next year, what happens if they're not going to get involved, and they need to get involved yesterday. They don't need to run advertisement 2 days out. They need to be involved with they all have political machines. Every one of these people have a political get-out-the-vote machine. Every one of them have an opportunity publicly to go against this governor, and they don't.
So why do you think they're not getting involved?
Because I'm going to tell you, part of it is Lane Grigsby, and I don't care how people get mad at me, Lane Grigsby owns most of these politicians that I'm mentioning. And it's just a fact. He owns them. And he's kept them on the sideline. And listen to the thing, Brandon. I don't care which one they endorse. I don't care if they help both of them. You notice I'm not taking sides on any of this. I like Risponi and I like Abraham. I like both of them. But you can at least get involved to say they can use their voting machines publicly and behind the scenes to turn out the vote to make sure that the state of Louisiana has a job, that Louisiana has jobs for their people in the private sector instead of this anti-business governor we have who's 100% anti-business. And everybody that stands with him, the Gaddies and the Mark Abraham, you get rid of all them people because they're not going to help you in the long run. They can't. They don't want to. Folks, what I'm asking is these people to come in. But you don't know how to ask nice, you damn right. When they come ask me to vote for them, I vote for them. And then what do they deliver for us? Okay? They have a chance to deliver a new direction for Louisiana. Every one of them's talked about it in the past. But it's only John Kennedy was the only one that's ever stood up, and he's still standing up. Where is Clay Higgins? That man in the governor's mansion has ruined your area of the state when it comes to oil and gas. He's ruined it with his law buddies, and you're sitting on the sideline because of a big donor tells you to sit on the sideline. And I'm telling you, Steve Scalise, and I love Scalise, Scalise could turn them on right now today. And if he doesn't do it today, we're going to be early voting with congressmen sitting on the sideline. And I, for one, will sit on the sideline next October. And if they make the runoff, we'll predict they'll make the runoff, and then I'll vote for them again in the runoff. Wouldn't that scare the hell out of every one of them? Could you imagine if a lot of us don't go vote in the congressional race, in the Senate race, and all of a sudden, instead of them being 58 and 70%, they all of a sudden get 45. They would be wee-weeing in their pants. They would pee all over themselves if we did that. Folks, drastic people have to take drastic measures. We can't do this. This election's so winnable. To wipe out a liberal that James Carville and Edwin Edwards is supporting. Mary Landrieu supporting this guy. I'm telling y'all, these people are the key, and they're sitting out. They're not doing what we ask them to do to come help, but they're coming back for the vote next year. All right, it's kind of hilarious. One guy, this guy that don't really like me, says, Moon's panicking. He's calling out the congressman. I am calling them out. You missed the first part of the program. I want to know what Congressman Steve Scalise, Clay Higgins, Garrett Graves, Mike Johnson, and Senator Bill Cassidy has been in the governor's race. I don't want to hear we trying to bring Trump in. That's not what I asked, Brandon. What did I ask? Where are y'all? Why aren't y'all involved? Somebody sent this. Higgins replied, it's ethics violation. Bunch of bunk. What you mean ethics violation? People help each other all the time. Representatives and senators are endorsing people all over the place. What do you mean ethics violation? What kind of bull crap is that? Now, Higgins, you got to do better than that. I don't want to hear from people that say, well, you know what, we're going to help get Trump. I'd love for Trump. Trump needs to come in now. Brandon, here's the funny thing about it. When Donald Trump came in here to do that LNG, all these elected officials went running over there for Donald Trump, didn't they? Okay? They went running over there. So now they want Trump to come in, and then they'll go on the stage with Trump. But how about these guys stepping up and getting involved in the governor's race now? What is wrong with them stepping up and the people I named? They wanted our votes last year, and we voted in big numbers for them. I mean, overall, the delegation had almost 58% of the vote last time, Brandon. 2 years ago when Donald Trump ran, they ran 58. Some of them ran in the 60s. And here we are struggling with a governor who's going to destroy this state financially. We can't keep up with all the stuff he's promising. This governor's going out there and buying every vote he can possibly buy. He is committing money that we cannot create at all. And he's going to be back for more taxes. His whole thing about government is we want to expand Medicaid. We want as much federal money as we can get. And we want as much tax dollars as out of your pocket. That is not the way to get your economy going. And that's why we'll last. Brandon, I sent you a spot I may want to run to. You know, and let me tell you something. This is the big reason somebody says, Moon's panicking. No, it's not panic. I want to know, what are you going to do? Do you realize, and Brandon, I think the date for voting starts September 28th. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. It's 29 days away, something like that. We start early voting. These congressmen in the United States Senate can't come running and say, well, I tried to get the vote out the last day. It's about organizing early. Edwards and them are telling everybody they're going to win in the first round, and they're getting organized to win in the first round because they know they're in trouble in the second round, and you guys sit on the sideline, and they're telling people this, well, it's going to be a runoff, then we're going to get involved. What do you mean, then you're going to get involved? Why not now? Okay, this is my question out there, folks. How about we do this? Next October, when the congressional elections come, all the Republicans, all the people that vote for Johnson and Scalise and Higgins and Garrett Graves and John, we don't go vote. And when they say, why you not going to vote? Say, we're waiting for the runoff. We're waiting for the runoff to vote for you. What about our economy? How about listen, you run into a big recession, they're going to have their salary, they're going to have their health care. You're not. We need them to help us now. We'll be right back.